Nigeria, my country, Lagos, my city. Why social media has talked about the richest family in Nigeria, the richest musician in Nigeria, youngest billionaire in Nigeria, the richest skit maker in Nigeria, top billionaire in oil and gas industry. So, in this video, we are going to be exploring 10 young influential tech experts whose contribution has profoundly shaped the country digital ecosystem. So if you are ready to journey with me, this is going to be explosive, entertaining, educative, informative, and you are going to learn a lot of lessons in this video. Stick to the end of the video and you will be glad. Remember, my name is Adisa Adewale. Number one on my list today is Olugbenga Agbola. He is the co-founder and CEO of Flutterwave. Prior to launching Flutterwave in 2016, Agbola developed fintech solutions for major tech companies and financial institutions like PayPal and Standard Bank. Under his leadership, Flutterwave has become one of the Africa's most prominent tech firms, achieving unicorn status and leading the continent in fintech. In today, Flutterwave is valued at over $3 billion, making it the highest valued African startup till date.
It's very simple, right? If for Africa to leapfrog, we need to have three things: logistics, payments, and commerce. Our job right now at Flutterwave is to build the payment part of that and solve that problem for us. Africa payment is highly fragmented. You go to Nigeria, you go to Kenya, the payment types are different, they are diverse, but they work. So our job at Flutterwave is to build a common payment infrastructure that connects everything together and makes it easy for a business to accept payments online or in-store through Flutterwave.
The next on my list is this energetic, inspiring young man. His words are electrifying and motivating. Iyinoluwa Aboyeji. Iyinoluwa Aboyeji co-founded two of Africa's most successful tech companies, Andela and Flutterwave. Andela connects African software developers with global companies, while Flutterwave streamlines payments across the continent. Aboyeji visions has cultivated tech talent in Nigeria and brought significant global investment to African tech ecosystem. He is now focused on Future Africa, a platform that offers capital coaching and community support to innovators addressing Africa's biggest challenge. Andela today's net worth is around 1.5 billion. Andela is at the forefront of connecting the global pool of extraordinary, technical, talented with leading companies to foster innovative and growth.
Is what do you want to be when you grow up? And I personally had the most interesting answers to that question, and my parents would never let me forget them because they consistently make a lot of jokes about it. My first career choice was I wanted to be a taxi driver. And for me, the logic was really simple. You know, my father at the time, this was post-SAP, Nigeria, lots of economic hardship. You know, he had a take-home package that couldn't take him home. And so he figured, you know, he would supplement that income by driving taxis. We used to call them kabu kabu. And, you know, I would see him get in the car, you know, pick up a passenger, and they paid him as soon as he, you know, dropped them off. And so I figured he was making a lot of money because all the money I could see was cash. And then, you know, my second career choice was I wanted to be a policeman. And it was because I kind of noticed that the only person he really gave that money to before he got home was the police. Now, the good thing is I eventually turned out all right. I didn't become a taxi driver or a policeman, but I never lost my touch for cash. But you see, at the heart of that question, what do you want to be when you grow up, is really a sense of our society's general ambition. It's most times the correct answer, and I could see the bewilderment in the room when I said I wanted to be a taxi driver and I wanted to be a policeman, is that it's driven by personal ambition and the accumulation of wealth. Even for me. The reasons why we want to be taxi drivers, the reason why we want to be whatever it is we want to be, is so our families can be proud of us. But you see, in that irony between personal success in a society that, quite frankly, is a failed society, lies an interesting paradox of personal interest and collective interest. We in Africa, quite frankly, have the most interesting paradoxes. And I would argue it's at the heart of why many of us struggle with imposter syndrome. I am the richest man in the poverty capital of the world, right? I am a doctor, the best doctor in the world, in a society with 2 doctors to 10,000 people. I am a professor, the most educated diaspora population in the world, in a country with 10.5 million children out of school. Something clicks. But at the same time, we go back to our vomit of prioritizing personal success, personal interests over our collective that defines us as a society.
Join me once again in this explosive video tour. This young, vibrant, energetic, articulate young guy, Shola Akinalade, a Lagos native. He is the co-founder of Paystack, a digital payment platform that revolutionized online payment in Africa. Together with Ezra Akinalade built Paystack into what it's often referred to as the Stripe of Africa, which was acquired by Stripe in 2020. In recognition of his contribution, Akinalade has been more honored as a Nigerian officer of the Order of the Niger. As at 2022, Paystack net worth is over $3 billion.
Hi, my name is Shola Akinlade. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Paystack. Paystack is a payments company. We help merchants accept payments from their customers. I grew up in Lagos, so started writing software after school. And after school, I had written like an open source version of Dropbox. And then after that, I started building software for banks in Nigeria. And I figured that, you know what, I might be able to start a payments company. One of the things we really did, one of the decisions I made personally was to make sure that, you know what, are you going to build a company that very few people love, or like a company that plenty people like, you know, and we chose like the more intimate one where let's build a company that few people will love, like, and you have like your very early fans. And I think we paid a lot of attention to our early customers, and that eventually paid off.
Another exceptional tech guru on my list is Tayo Oviosu. Is the co-founder and CEO of Paga, a leading mobile payment platform in Nigeria with over 20 million users. Paga has already played a key role in advancing financial inclusion by providing simple, accessible payment solutions for individuals and businesses. Oviosu's work in fintech has gradually impacted Nigerians' economy, enabling millions to engage in digital economy and supporting the growth of small businesses across the country. As of 2024, the company has raised a total of $25.1 million in funding, while the exact current valuation of the Paga is not publicly disclosed.
I think doing business in Nigeria is not necessarily the easiest thing. So I think you have to be in for the long term. I think second is you have to have a great team and people who you can depend upon to actually run the business without you and to drive and execute. I think third is that you have to have people who believe in you and believe in your ability to execute this business. And probably most important is actually a product that people want that solves a real problem. And that people want. And so I think that's key because product market fit is critical. And then last but not the least, I think is just being able to navigate the waters of the complexities of Nigeria, the things that have nothing to do with your business.
The next today on my video is Ezra Olubi. Is a Nigerian software engineer, co-founder and chief technology officer (CTO) of Paystack, a prominent African fintech company, alongside Shola Alade. Olubi co-founded Paystack in 2015 to streamline online payment for business throughout Nigeria and Africa. His contribution has significantly shaped the African fintech landscape, driving innovation and enhancing the accessibility of digital transactions. October 2022, Ezra Olubi gained widespread attention online after President Muhammadu Buhari's reaction to his outfit while receiving his OON award.
Next on my list is Confidence Stle, a Forbes Technology Council member. She is the founder of Cyber Safe Security Foundation, an organization focused on enhancing digital and access and cybersecurity awareness, especially for women in Africa. She's also the author of API Security for White Hat Hackers, Uncover Offensive Defense Strategies, and Master Securing API Implementation, known for her ability to simplify complex cybersecurity complex. Stle has received multiple awards for her contribution, including the Cybersecurity Women of the Year Award in 2023.
My name is Confidence Stle. I generally describe myself as a relatable cybersecurity leader because I'm able to communicate cybersecurity best practices in the most relatable way to audiences of all types. I'm also very passionate about building talent, and a lot of my work has to do with upskilling talent across Africa to be able to take up cybersecurity roles within the continent and globally.
The time when, I started becoming quite a visible person on LinkedIn just really came from serving and really just answering the needs of African people and connecting people to opportunities and just standing for something really around cybersecurity. Now,
another personality on my list today once again is Oni Ogundeyi, founder of Edukoya, an exam preparation platform launched in May 2021 to assist students with their studies. With a background in internet and brand management, Ogundeyi brings extensive experience from banking, telecoms, and business consulting. Her expert in web commerce and online advertising has been crucial in her mission to address real-world challenges through technology. Welcome to our real life story.
Difficult things to do in this nation. It's like pulling, water from a stone. Investors, people talk about angel investors, but my theory is we actually don't have angel investors in Nigeria. We have demon investors. Okay, blood of Jesus, we use it to cover them. But it's really hard to find like angels who just come and like your business and they give you money. A lot of people are trying to, in essence, I don't want to use the whatever word, but they're trying to, mess you over, turn you on the other way. So you have to be really careful and really discerning and trying to finding the right investors, finding access to right banks who are willing to listen to you. I don't even think they listen to you. Or finding family and friends. And in this time, really, who wants to hear your family member that is looking for money? So that's really one of my toughest things, like finding good access to funding just to grow, especially if you're already growing really fast and you just need the money to be able to sustain that growth. The second thing for me is like building a team and getting a team that really is passionate about what you're doing and getting them to be as excited as you are. Everyone talks about this, but I tell you that thing is the most incredibly tough thing that I found. Like when one of my first staff left, I actually cried. I still cried again in January when another person left because she's been with me since she was an intern NYC 2 years. And then they just leave. Like the best ones are the ones that even give you notice and write out their contracts. The worst ones are the ones that just come and say, yeah, I'm going somewhere tomorrow. The third worst ones are the ones that make up a story like, oh yeah, something has happened to this, and then you are crying with them. The next day they just show up like a Jumia, and I'm just like, really? Why did you just say that? So I think that's really, really hard. And just one thing is finding the people. That's incredibly tough. Getting them, then keeping them motivated, getting them happy, getting them to be excited about closing that sale and for us to hit all those targets. Man, that one I'm still trying to figure out, and I'm still like working with my team just to make sure that you bring out the best in people. And I want to say this as well, that thing is like a two-way journey. Like, so you can't be like a crappy boss that, you know, doesn't really care for people and then now be wondering that why is everybody quitting or why doesn't anybody care about you. And I'll keep it all the way honest. Like, when I starting my business, I found that dealing with people has been like one of the hardest or harder areas for me. Like, I understand the market, I understand the people. I'm a marketing and branding genius, but people, oh gosh, my eyes have seen pepper.
This is one of my favorite women in this industry. Join me as we introduce Odunayo Eweniyi from Oyo State. He is the co-founder and chief operating officer of PiggyVest, a leading digital investment platform in Nigeria with experts in business analysis and operations. Eweniyi is also the co-founder and general partner of First Check Africa, an early-stage investment firm supporting tech startups led by women in Africa. Her leadership activism have gained several accolades, including the Forbes Women African Technology, an Innovative Award, and the Future Award African Prize in Technology. Welcome to our story.
I think the biggest part of this is like every time you see someone walk up to you and say, I use PiggyVest, or I use PiggyVest is pretty like normal. Like I was in a grocery store, like Ebano, and I was buying things and a group of young girls walk up to me and they were just like, Odun, and I was like, what? And the girl was like, what? We use PiggyVest.
Next on my list is another powerful woman, Maya Ogan Famodu. He is a Nigerian-American entrepreneur, a founder of Ingressive Capital, a venture established in 2017 to start up African tech startups. She also launched Aggressive for Good, an NGO providing training, talent placement, and scholarship to African talent. Famedu has been featured in Forbes Under 30 Technology and was named one of the top inspiring women ruling Nigerian tech ecosystem. In 2019, at 25, she became the youngest woman to independently launch a tech fund in sub-Saharan Africa. In 2020, she doubled the fund assets under the management from $5 million to $10 million.
So I can talk about my first pitch competition, which was rough, to say the least. My first 3 years were, I don't want to say embarrassing, but I was definitely learning, and it wasn't my brightest time. It was a private, exclusive event with maybe 50, 75 of the top investors came, and this was my first formal pitch for Ingressive Capital. I'm like, you know what? I'll do it. I can just wing everything. Don't worry, you know. And I get up on stage, and I'm like, Ingressive, it was nonsense. The words just made no sense, and needless to say, they lovingly came and were just like, just give me the mic, just, it's okay, it's okay. And so that one failed, and I got off stage and he was like, you know, Maya, it's okay, we all have to fail our first couple times, just maybe go home and practice a few times before you do your next pitch competition.
Last on my list today, among the young experts in tech up in Nigeria, today is Tito Ovia.
That, you know, a lot of
he is a health tech entrepreneur and a public health advocate focused on enhancing healthcare quality in Africa. She co-founded Helium Earth, a Nigerian-based health tech company, where she served as the head of public sector. Prior to Helium Earth, Ovia worked with the Lagos State AIDS Control Agency, partnering with the private and public stakeholders to combat the spread of HIV. Welcome to our story.
What their healthcare system is like. I mean, every healthcare system has its flaws, right? It does. It doesn't matter whether you're in the UK, the US, Cuba, whatever, Nigeria, they all have their flaws. Nothing is perfect, right? However, it opened my eyes to, I guess, how their system works and how it differed, how it was good, how it was bad. the biggest problem with the Nigerian healthcare system is that for a long time, people forgot about healthcare. When I say this, I mean that, you know, everyone focused on the banking sector, finance sector, everyone focused on telecoms, and everyone focused on oil and gas, so how can I forget? You know, and everyone forgot about healthcare. I mean, there was that documentary that BBC came out about, you know,